So here, I'm going to give a general overview of the ship before I show multiple examples of certain characteristics of the ship and a full game at the end. The artillery is rather nice. 19 kilometers. It's especially, or a sufficient amount of range just to engage all the targets. Any further and you're just not going to hit them, really. I wouldn't put the range mod on this. It's just your HE is just going to be the only thing effective at that range. AP just starts becoming really finicky, and it's not going to go where you want it. Also, that 30% fire chance is totally not 30%. It definitely is, after all the modifiers, probably 14, 15%. And it feels around that area. So this is not a fire starter. So don't expect fires when you really need them. They're going to come randomly and at times where you probably didn't really need a fire, and then they just DCP it or something, or when they DCP and you try to set them on fire, it is they won't get set on fire again. Totally not venting frustration from all the 40 games I played, but that's what it felt like, that fires just did not want to come, or didn't happen when I really needed them or really wanted them, or when the target had their DCP down. Now it happened, but not enough. And it definitely makes me angry whenever I see that. The AA defense is actually an exact copy of the Buffalo. So tier 9 AA, it's not bad. The big difference is you do not want to take the flak module. You really need the aiming systems mod 1 module. If you don't take that, your shells are going to go everywhere. It's inconsistent with just this. I can't fathom what it's like without that 7%. It's just not worth it taking for 2 extra flak on each sector area, and it doesn't really have much, and you're only going to get really 1 or 2 out of it. So it's not worth it. You might as well just not take that module. The maneuverability is rather nice. It's exactly a Buffalo. Its rudder shift actually beats the Buffalo if you do have rudder shift mod on it. I don't run propulsion. I like rudder shift a little bit more. If you use your rudder a lot, I would definitely go with the rudder shift. So without the rudder shift on the Buffalo, you're pretty much a Buffalo at that point. Just a little bit faster. You got 50 meters more turn on the turning radius, but I would say it's not really too noticeable. Concealment's rather nice. 12.2 with all the modifiers to do it. With the radar at 10 kilometers, this can definitely use its radar. It is not like a Stalingrad that is spotted from space and has a longer, like 4 kilometers of a distance to get to that radar range. This can cover that radar range pretty quickly, going at full speed. So you can definitely roll a radar while moving through an area to try to purge out any DDs. Other than that, the survivability is rather nice. 27 millimeters, so it's exactly like all the other U.S. cruisers. So it's tanky against other cruisers. You don't really want to get HE spammed, though, on in a stationary position. I tend to be more mobile with this ship, more so than, say, when I used to play the U.S. cruisers. So something like a Cleveland and stuff, I'll probably be a little bit less mobile than, say, something like this. But I would say this goes into that midliner, close frontliner kind of kiting kind of roll area. You don't want to pull too far back, but you really want to counter those cruisers for your destroyers. That's the bread and butter of this. The Citadel is extremely low, so even though you have these 27 millimeters, you're probably just going to only eat regular pens if a battleship shoots at you. So I wouldn't fear Citadels too much, but they can happen. This Citadel deck is 19 millimeters. Every battleship in the game overmatches that. No cruiser does. So you can go broadside to a cruiser, and they're probably not going to citadel you. Maybe if they hit the barbette armor, I think they could probably do it. But it rarely happens. I've rarely gotten citadel by another cruiser, but the maybe at range. At range, they can come in at an angle and hit you, but it's a pretty slim chance. You're probably just going to get a bunch of full pens on you, and that's all that's going to happen. Either full pens or over pens. It's probably one of the reasons I hate shooting a lot of other Alaskas with this. It's literally just over pens, unless you hit that this top armor belt right here. Unless you hit that, you're just going to overpen the guy. For basic consumables and stuff, I run Hydro. Defensive AA is nice. It will make you similar to a Des Moines in its AA values, but it's not going to save you from tier 10s. They're going to get multiple strikes regardless. You will punish them, but you're not going to really stop them. Tier 8s are already they're SOL beforehand, even without defensive AA. They'll probably get one strike in, and then you'll shred their planes. So I like Hydro a little bit more in this current meta as of 8.1 to 8.2 right now. Pick radar. Don't pick any of these. Please, dear God, no. Just no. Just no. Don't ever think of using these, even for the memes. You don't need that range. And if you're gonna be like, oh, I can shoot people in smoke, well, you can shoot people in smoke with the radar. The radar is one of the reasons you're gonna want to have the radar. It's just too good to pass up. And the not only that, but like the cooldown is exactly the same as a frickin' plane. Even though, or actually no, it's even faster. The cooldown is literally the run time of the plane. And then the reload time of the plane, you're just never going to get to use that as often. You'll get to use this often and with a purpose, and it helps your entire team rather than just you. So even if you play selfish, you can't really play selfish with a radar. Everyone's going to see the dude, and you're going to be able to engage them. Heals, always take the premium ones with credits. Even though I don't think they let you buy any with doubloons anymore, which is good. So with this, I went for main armaments mod 1. Don't really have secondaries and don't really care about the AA mounts, and yeah, I'd rather have the main guns active most of the time. Definitely buy the surveillance radar. All of these are crap. They don't really do anything, and this does a lot. Or at least this does way more than these. Take aim mods system 1. You probably, these don't really pay off as much. This makes the reload worse, and I think just having expert marksman, especially with Halsey, you don't really need the turret traverse as fast as this. So yeah, and this would make the guns too inconsistent. I like steering gears more. You definitely can run propulsion mod 2 if you find yourself on islands way more than usual, or you play more of an island focused cruiser. Prop mod 2 would be the way to go. Steering gears is way better for the midline to kind of a slight kiter roll, or at least open water. So when you're in open water, this would probably help you far more, especially in the amount of time it will take. It shaves off roughly, I think, almost 2 to 3 seconds. So it just makes you a little bit faster on that reaction more so than a speed, because this does take a little bit of a while to speed up. You don't really need to take damage controlled systems mod 2. A good theory is to just not get hit with HE, or not to be in an area where they can get like multiple fires on you, because this is usually where this thing starts working in is when you can't DCP fires and you have to have them go on you. It would reduce the damage from one single fires that you might not want to DCP and stuff, but I feel the steering gears would probably save you from a torpedo in one game, and you'll get back way more health that way. Or a prop mod 2 would get you out of a position when you wouldn't have been able to or something. Otherwise, concealment. You want to close in that gap with the radar with your concealment. I like reload. You really hate planes, I guess. I feel the reload would probably be a little bit more than this, but this would still probably be better than this. You do not need the range. 19 kilometers is perfectly fine. The guns won't literally let you hit anything at further ranges, it feels. The AP is just too inconsistent, and HE is just pittance damage. It's there to set fires and maybe kind of annoy the enemy. Or trying to finish off a guy. But a lot of the times, I feel that shooting at 19 kilometers, the rounds just went everywhere, and you'll only get like 2 out of 9 at that range because it's running the Graf Spee kind of dispersion curve. So it's not fun engaging people at that range, and I wouldn't even bother with that range. I would rather have the reload or better AA. Here we're going to go to the captain skills. I rotate this captain around Des Moines, so ignore this. If you are going to build a captain specifically for the Alaska, everything else here is nice. Besides Demolition Expert, I would totally put it on basic survivability, because that would definitely reduce the amount of fires. Or not reduce the amount of fires, but reduce the time of the fire. So if you get that single fire that hits you, you're gonna shave off 15 seconds off of it, which is, or I think it's about 10 to 15 seconds. So it's rather nice. I think 15 is like 2/3. It's about a minute fire, so you'll shave off a decent chunk of it, and it definitely saves the HP. I still recommend definitely have expert loader. You probably don't need preventative maintenance. So if you really wanted to go for a little bit more of a tank build, maybe take off PM and adrenaline rush, and probably save another point somewhere to get another kind of tank oriented skill. But really, it's not too crazy. I prefer IFA over the whatever this thing's called, priority target. I find that knowing how many people are looking at you is completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Like if 12 people are looking at you, you're probably gonna get shot at, yeah. But it's really nice to know when some random battleship, like 15 kilometers or 20 kilometers on the other side of the map, while you're just kind of trolling, like going around, going in a straight pattern and don't know, that unspotted guy will shoot at you, and you'll be alerted with IFA instead of priority target, because priority target doesn't tell you when you're getting shot at. And IFA tells you when you're getting shot at, which is more relevant information than knowing how many people are looking at you. So, yeah. And I feel the people that say, like, oh, I know when they're launching torpedoes with this, I find that your situational awareness is not capable of keeping eye on that all the time. And it's better just to have good habits. Just get a good habit of just turning. Keep, maneuvering and stuff, and don't maneuver predictably. Priority target, doesn't save you in that kind of end, and better judgment of positioning is well worth, keeping this point off and putting this point on, because you just won't get deleted from a random battleship salvo in the game anymore with this. As long as you just pay attention to the alert coming off, you'll be perfectly safe. Depending on the range, you might not be able to accelerate fast enough if you're stationary. So just keep in mind why I would like IFA more than priority target is just because it gives way more relevant information to me. And if you don't want that, I mean, it's not exactly necessary. It's not going to make or break the ship. more so than say like expert marksman and expert loader. These are take skills. You must have these. But other than that, you could pretty much go free with everything else other than these two. Other than concealment expert, probably two. You'd really need to close that gap with the radar. It helps a lot. But otherwise, you can probably go for more of an AA focus if you need to spend this to that, or is putting these into more of a tank focus. There's definitely options with this ship. So yeah, pick what you pick, but definitely to keep in mind that these two skills are definitely core skills for this ship. You definitely need these skills. It's imperative that you have these because it just makes it makes the ship far more comfortable and far more capable. If you see in the later videos or the sections, I swap a lot, and swapping with this kind of reload, even if it was half, it's far better. Halsey just makes it even far better, but it's imperative that you have this point and also these. All right, here we're going to be showing why you should really shoot HE at these destroyers. Like, just when you have the chance, just do it. It really messes them up. Like, they do not respond well to this HE. In this circumstance, saturation's going to probably more likely save this guy. I think I'll probably hit like a total of 12, 13 rounds on this guy, which should have been more than enough, but saturation knocks it down since he's bow in. And the accuracy of this thing works really well when you're in range or you get lucky. Like, you just got to get lucky, and the destroyer has to get lucky multiple times. And you only have to get lucky a couple times, so it's definitely worth shooting at HE at these destroyers, especially when you have 10 kilometers of radar. And with the radar mod, you can definitely kill a DD in the time frame that you're given with the radar, especially if they're broadside to you. Like, they'll just take tons of damage and basically not trade well. So like that salvo should have finished him off, but I think saturation saved him, and I think I hit a couple modules, but it basically made him so low that the team finished him off anyway. So here I am in the same game. I have a destroyer behind an island with me. So the way you work around this is you angle out with hydro running, and you slowly creep up on them. So the way I'm angled right now is just going to completely protect me from torpedoes. It's just going to be impossible to actually hit them, because when you're heading away, it's really easy to dodge torpedoes. But I noticed that he's going away now, so I'm going to call his bluff now. And he's going to make the terrible decision to rush me, because he doesn't actually know where I am. He saw me just a bit ago heading away, so maybe he thought I was heading all the way away, but it's not the case. And he finds out that wasn't the case. And even though he's so close range, since I'm heading away, I'm not really in any danger at all. He launches his set of torps, but it doesn't really matter. He's gonna die. And this thing is not, not able to maneuver. It's quite able to maneuver. It's exactly the same as a Buffalo, actually. Turn radius, and if you run the rudder shift mod, you'll be actually faster slightly than a stock, or not a stock, but a non-rudder shift Buffalo. So here we are on hotspot. I'm coming out in this area to give some flank protection to the large grouping of ships up north of me. I was with them just before that, because we did actually spawn south on this map, but just the way the battle played out, it basically was a cluster of ships just all at A. So it was rather fun. But now the game is pretty close still, and I need to trade very effectively, so I'm going to try to ambush these two guys on this flank. This Henri is forced broadside because of that island, so I take a shot, and it was not good. Now this guy knows I'm here, so I try to take another while he's still forced on that island. As the angles are the shells are pretty nice to orbit over islands still. But he knows I'm here, and he's going to angle in now. So I'm going to go for this Republic. And it's pretty nice to shoot at the Republics compared to all the other battleships. They just do not have a belt, and a lot of it's just 32. So it really stops the rounds, and it's just easy free damage. As long as you hit that belt area, you'll just keep on getting pens. That one's a little bit too far in the back, and somehow I took out his rudder. So now he's stuck there because it looks like he doesn't have DCP. Probably burned it on some fires or something. We'll just keep on peppering him since he's still broadside to us. And keep on getting pens on him before we get too close to this Henri. And I think I can get one more salvo off with this one. So now we have to pay attention to this Henri. He is too close. He has torpedoes. He basically launches the first set too early. Now he's going to use his other one, but he turned too much, and my AP angles really helped me in getting these citadels. This could have ended badly for me, but it didn't. So I'm lucky on that end. Here we're going to show the inconsistency of the AP. Even though he's broadside, you're going to just get a lot of overpens. I got some pens because I probably hit the belt or something, and it just stayed in the ship somehow. But a lot of the times, you're just going to get a lot of overpens, and they have to be kind of angled, or you got to get lucky, or you got to aim right to really hit these guys. Don't be surprised if you just get a bunch of overpens. All right, here we're going for everyone's Pinata, the Minotaur. It basically gives XP to you. I believe it serves no other purpose than to give XP to Alaskas now. There's just no way they can angle it. Like, they have to dodge. If they don't dodge you, they're just going to eat tons of pens. And as you'll see, you get citadels. The improved AP angles and the overmatch just messes up Royal Navy ships. So in this example, I'm going to show you the turning of the ship can expose your citadel and also hide it in a way. So right here, the red line is pretty much the citadel. The citadel doesn't run flush with it, but it's a good indicator of what kind of angle and how high and how much this ship can change its citadel height by just turning. So turning away, it tilts the ship a lot. And you can see that the upper belt is almost covered with water. And this is a good and bad thing. So against battleships in these kind of turns, you're going to be more likely to actually eat citadels in both styles, to be honest. This one actually probably less so because it's still like probably like 10 inches of space. But when you start turning away, they have a higher chance of actually hitting the citadel roof, and as the moment a battleship round hits that citadel roof, it will overmatch into it, and then detonate, as there'll be nowhere else to go. So you do need to take care in these turns and maneuvers, while when you're not maneuvering at all, it's probably like a 5% chance, to be honest, in getting a citadel on this thing. As it's too low and too shallow or too far away for a round to hit it. But when you start turning, it changes drastically on where you can get hit, especially from battleships. So here we are on the map of Northern Lights. I'm going to be putting my ship between C and D to take advantage of that large island between C and D. It's rather nice for most cruisers. And I'm going to expect to find cruisers around that spot and hopefully be able to engage them. Since nothing showed up at C, I'm going to take pot shots at this DD while he tries to race to that little island over there. If you're a destroyer, don't really do this strategy. It's not worth it. You're trading too much HP just to get a cap, and you're gonna find out that like you're just not gonna make it to late game with this kind of strategy. You're gonna get stuck in that spot. Here we are going to engage this destroyer to help our Kitakaze. He is kind of too far in, to be honest, since there is a Cleveland there. Though we will be able to help him out with this Kitakaze. Even though I missed my first salvo, we'll definitely line up the next one. And since he's so close, it is extremely hard to miss. I accidentally push up a little bit too far too fast, so my my front guns go right into the mountain. But at least the rear gun was able to hit him more, but we will not be able to finish him off directly. The our allied Kitakaze or other teammates will have to, since it's not, we're just not going to get back enough in time. We're going to prep up for this Buffalo coming in. Here I had a feeling that he was going to come down that straight, though I don't know how far he was going to go, but at least if he was going to go bow in on me, I could at least lock him in that kind of position. Because either I had to deal with my friend in the Musashi behind me, or he'd just go broadside to me. So I'm waiting for him to take that turn, but I choose to swap to HE in this instead. At least farm a little more damage while he keeps on coming. I'll swap directly to AP again to get ready for the turn. And as you'll see, he is making an aggressive decision to take a front turn on me. And this is where the inconsistencies of the gun can come. If you don't aim right, you don't get anything. You just get overpens. And it generally happens a lot. I feel that is a common theme in this ship. If you don't aim right on this ship, you just don't get anything. It's super inconsistent. But here we at least get one Citadel to finish him off, and a couple more overpens, because you'll always see those. We're going to push out and engage this Buffalo that's aggressively pushing this side as well. I doubt the Cleveland is going to leave that island right off the bat. And even if he did, we wouldn't be able to engage him. So even in this 2v1, I'll definitely take the odds with this, because this ship is really good against cruisers. Especially at short range. Like, just one Citadel does 8,900, and that, just getting multiples of them, they finish off a ship really rapidly. So here, he might think he's angled, but he's not. The improved AP angles definitely help with this ship. Especially against aggressive cruisers that get into brawling distance. So I'm not going to push out to brawl this guy. No need to. Especially when enemy DD is up there. I don't really want to eat torpedoes like that. Though with the positioning of the enemy team and how little damage my friend had, he's going to aggressively push, so I'm going to join with him instead now, instead of waiting to see what the enemy does. Akatsuki goes low, and I push in close enough to spot him with Hydro now, so he cannot hide, though he is overturning or overrunning his smoke. So my friend gets him with close quarters.
Our victory is in sight.
We'll be setting up for this Cleveland. I expected the Hipper to turn out, so I didn't even bother looking at him, as he is right now. And we'll go for the Cleveland. And as you'll see, even though he is angled pretty heavily, you're still gonna overpen a lot. And I find these guns really inconsistent. Just every time. Like, look at that angle. It still overpens. So it's one of my main gripes with this ship is that you have to get that shot perfectly. And even then RNG might just mess with you a little bit. You just won't get the damage you want.
Torpedoes to port.
As you saw with the Missouri salvo on me, takes a lot of damage. The 27mm plating is really nice against cruisers, but against battleships, it's not sufficient. So you really don't want to get into these kind of fights unless you think you're gonna, win the game. As you just don't trade well.
Direct front.
It takes way too long to whittle down a battleship, and with the armor plating of this ship, it just does not want to get shot by these things. The Scharnhorst, just go bow in, you'll be perfectly fine. But say the Musashi and the North Carolina over there, they can definitely chunk me for a good amount of health.
Direct front.
So I'm pretty low right now. I'm going to go dark and probably get my heal. Though the game is almost done. So as soon as I get that heal going, I'm going to just try to farm some fires on the Musashi before the game finishes, because there ain't much left.
All stations requesting fire on the designated target. The ship is on fire. Problem solved, sir.
Yeah, I'm trying to finish the Musashi, but he is healing through 2 fires. And I won't get the kill, sadly. Oh well, though. So, in conclusion, the ship's not bad. It has its inconsistencies, but I feel it is stronger than the majority of Tier 9 cruisers. If you put yourself in the right position, this cruiser will completely beat down on every other cruiser in the game. But it just has a hard time dealing with battleships. Don't get into 1v1s. Especially because it's just going to take too long to whittle them down. You're going to have to shoot HE at them. If you find yourself like 3 kilometers, you can Citadel every battleship. But that's like suicide range, and it only really happens when they're pushing across an island and they aren't directly looking at you. You'll probably survive a first salvo from them, so there is definitely that little bit. If you have enough health, you can definitely trade far more effectively than them at that kind of range, because they're just not going to really be able to Citadel you at that range. So there is safety in knowing that, but I still wouldn't want to find myself in that position. It's not a good position to find yourself in, and it's more about making use of what you have at that point. If it's worth 1 million free XP, if you got a ton of it, if you just got a ton of it. But if you don't have a whole lot, and if you're willing to save up stuff like that, I would say if you don't have any premiums, it's definitely worth it. It's still a good ship, and it will definitely keep you in the high tier area to play, so you can learn that a whole lot easier. But if you don't have any experience in the U.S. cruisers, it's going to be a little bit more painful, especially if you don't have any experience in cruisers, because you need to understand and respect the battleships on the field. and know how much they can just start punishing you. Just, you know, there is no angle. There's no angling against battleships. You can use your belt, but that just normally doesn't happen. You're just gonna take a ton of penetrations with this kind of ship. It's not maneuverable like a Minotaur. Like a Minotaur is in the exact same position, other than getting deleted instantly, as this ship is against a battleship. You can only use your belt, and that plating all around the ship is just gonna get overmatched everywhere. Besides a couple battleships like an Alsace, Jean Bart, Richelieu, the Gascogne. So, yeah, it's still a good ship. If you have a ton of premiums and you already have like a Musashi and all that, you're probably going to buy this anyway. Knowing most players. But if for some reason you're on the line of it, you don't really need it then at that point. The million XP, like if you're at a million XP right now and that's all you had, I wouldn't do that. I would definitely wait until you got like 1.5 million free XP, because I find that free XP is far more useful in skipping stock grinds. That is definitely where you should be using that free XP, is skipping stock grinds. You should not play a stock ship if you have the free XP for that. You don't need to pay money for it. I'm not advocating that. But you definitely, if you have like 500,000 free XP, you should not be having a stock grind on any ship. I feel like there is really no ship in this game that is fun with stock modules. So as long as you have the free XP to cover that kind of stuff, or if you're just not grinding ships, then yeah, you'd be pretty safe on that. But yeah, don't buy her if you're still grinding ships and you don't have the free XP after buying this said ship. Yeah. If it's worth the actual cost in the store, if it ever comes back around, like in a sale, if this is late, later in the year, that would be more of a financial decision that you would have to make. Their price point is exactly where a tier 9 ship would be. If you buy the basic pack, which would probably be the better idea, because I think it'll be like $60 to $70 US by that point. If it's worth that, I feel if you're going to buy a premium ship, then yeah. But I feel that, I think it'll be fine by that point. But it's still pretty spendy for most people, so yeah, you might want a tier 8 premium instead, as those might have more consistencies. As like an Atago is far more consistent than the ship, and I would say less frustrating. Or say any of the tier 8 battleships, so like the Alabama or Massachusetts, those are more consistent, and they offer, tier 8 bonuses and stuff, and they're still fun. And I would say I never really had disappointment in those ships other than this one. And that's not saying this is a disappointing ship, but you get a lot of overpens, and you really need good aim with this. The shells are just not consistent enough to warrant the purchase of the ship compared to, like, say, a Massachusetts or an Alabama and stuff, because they offer more consistency. Like, their rounds tend to go where you think they're going to go, and you tend to actually overmatch ships instead. Well, this one doesn't overmatch a cruiser armor and has to work the angles, and also has to have the other caveat of the rounds actually hitting the Citadel. While Battleship, it's just, you just have to hit the Citadel. Otherwise, you'll generally penetrate them. And if they're pure broadside, then yeah, you're going to probably get some overpens. But when they're bow in or bow out, they're just going to eat penetrations. Unlike this ship. This ship requires HE once they're bow out, and The HE is good, but it's not gonna just kill a guy really quickly other than a destroyer. So there is that. You just won't trade effectively compared to all the other tier 9 cruisers or tier 10 cruisers with HE. It's when the AP comes into play that you will trade effectively. But without the AP, you're a worse Buffalo at that point. So if you ended up being bow on with another ship, you got to take out their guns. Otherwise, you're just not going to trade effectively with HE. It's just pointless. So, in the wrap up, it's a good ship. If you have more than 1 million free XP, it's good to buy. If you have a shit ton of money, I guess you could buy it on the store. But I wouldn't really do that if you live into paycheck to paycheck. So do understand that the ship itself is still expensive, and it is questionable in the purchasing of it. If you have like 2 million free XP, yeah, it's not that bad to throw away that kind of amount if you have that. Anyways, though, thank you for watching this entire long video. I am happy that I was actually able to finally make this, and I hope I can make more in the future, given the amount of time it actually took to make this. So if you do want more reviews that will be coming in eventually, hopefully I'll probably do a Des Moines or a Massachusetts review after this one. Do hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for watching.